This may be the most useful video you watch if you are someone who is interested in becoming an Amazon associate or an Amazon influencer, or maybe you've already done some of these with lackluster results. So if you clicked on this video, you're probably wanting to understand how I was able to 16x my monthly revenue on Amazon in the span of 30 days. I am reading off my notes in case I keep glancing over, that's why. But I want to give you a brief overview of my journey so far in this side hustle. And then of course tell you the one big change that I made at the end of November that is going to hopefully alter what the rest of 2026 looks like for me in regards to being an Amazon influencer. All right, let's back up. June 2025. That is when I was officially accepted into the Amazon influencer program. And just to clarify for those who don't know at this point, there are two separate programs that Amazon has that essentially will help you make money. Amazon influencer is the one that's harder to get into, right? By contrast, Amazon associate is the one that literally anyone can apply to. All you do is apply and you're gonna get automatically approved, okay? And you're gonna understand why is because it's so much harder to make money as an Amazon associate. With associate, this is what I want you to keep in mind. You generate a link to a product, right? Whatever that product is, and you must post that link outside of Amazon. So associates with links outside of Amazon. So this would be on your own social media, and you are hoping to drive traffic to Amazon and get customers to buy the stuff using your links, right? Now, in contrast, Amazon influencer. This is harder by design, okay? And you're gonna see why in just a minute, but it requires that you already have some kind of social media presence. It doesn't have to be big and grandiose. For the record, I got in with a 200 follower TikTok account. But the good thing is it is very automated when you apply. So you're saying, hey, here's my social media. And it's a just automatic process, and they tell you either yes, you're accepted, or no, you're not. So at least you don't have to wait too long to find out. Now, the reason Amazon influencer has a higher bar and it's harder to get into is because they do the marketing. The heavy lifting is done by them, right? Your videos show up inside of Amazon. Notice what I said about Amazon associates, links outside. You have to drive the traffic. Amazon handles all of it on the inside if you're an influencer. So if you're ever shopping and you see the pictures and then you scroll through, that's what we call the top carousel. Sometimes there's videos at the end. Your video could potentially end up there. If not, there's the alternative, which is a bottom carousel. You scroll down to the bottom, you have some reviews, people have videos. And if the video by the person's name says earns commission, they are also an Amazon influencer. So just imagine all the people shopping on Amazon. They're gonna have so many more eyes and potentials to buy if they're looking in Amazon already for the thing that they're shopping for, right? So just compare that, all the shoppers of Amazon, to whatever traffic you're generating on your blog on the far side of the internet, right? So it's not even close. And my numbers that I share with you will kind of give you an idea what that looks like in a real world scenario. All right, so I joined in June, and to be honest, guys, I wasted my opportunity for the first several months. From the span of June to November, I put up 6 total videos, and that was it. I wasn't even thinking too hard about these videos. It was just stuff that I routinely use every day that I had around the house. I finally made some videos and put them up. And here on the screen, you're gonna see just how much I made per month, starting with on-site. So on-site is influencer, Amazon influencer from June 2025 to October. It averaged out to a whopping $8.50 per month. Of course, the Amazon associate or the outside links were even worse because out of those 5 months, there were only 2 months when I even made sales. And again, that average comes out to $3.62 compared to the $8.50. And if you add the two of them up, I made a ground-shattering, life-changing total of $12.12 per month. Maybe enough for a Big Mac meal, but not exactly the awe-inspiring numbers I was hoping for when I got into this side hustle. At this point, maybe you can relate to this, right? And you're disappointed after hearing all the hype about how, oh, it's so easy, just review something on Amazon, review something, you're gonna start printing money. Which, by the way, telltale sign of someone who's just a grifter and trying to take your money and probably, sell you a course is when they gloss over the details. They don't even tell you the difference between Amazon associate and Amazon influencer, right? They just say reviewing things to keep it vague because you don't know when you're starting out. So again, that's all the context. So what actually changed? What did I do different? And that was my approach, right? And the approach is I actually became strategic. And really what helped me do that, to be honest, is software and finding the right stuff that works for me. And I'm not here to pimp that. If you stay till the end, I will tell you what program I use because there are a lot out there. They have their own pros and cons. That's not the point of this video. The point is just to give you practical advice that you can use starting today. And hopefully it changes your approach. Hopefully it makes you more strategic going forward so that you can have similar success as well. So, and this is advice outside of software, but I'm talking about how you go about selecting products, because what you select to review will absolutely affect how much money you make, right? So two things. Number one, when you're picking it, the bare minimum qualifier when you pick something, it must be selling, right? That's obvious, duh, advice, but how are you going to make a commission on something if it's not selling? Even a 50% mythological commission on something out of $0 is still $0. So, and this is actually easy. You can figure this out. Amazon will literally tell you if you go to any item, and if you just want to like type in whatever item you want in the search bar and then sort by best selling, right? And then click on the item. Usually like below the price or something, it'll say this many sold in the last month, 500, 1,000, 5,000. And that's the kind of stuff you want to see, right? Those numbers are good. That means there's volume of sales. That means people are interested in that product. That means they're actively shopping for that product. So keep that in mind. That is pretty easy to find. Number two is a little bit more trickier. Number two is your videos must be able to drive a sale, aka people must put their eyes on your video. Again, this is less important if it's Amazon associate outside. This is really focusing on people who are Amazon influencers. This is paramount, because the unfortunate thing related to number one, which is the number of sales, is if it's a really popular item, if it's selling really well, there's probably already a lot of influencer videos, right? That's what you're fighting with. And that's the one that's a little bit harder to tell because it's not as obvious. So it's one thing if you're just competing with 5 influencers, right? Maybe there's 4 or 5 videos and you're like, well, I have pretty good odds. I put myself out there, so I should have some chance of being seen. But what happens when you're 1 out of 100, right? Or even more? It's almost like there's 0 chance that you're going to displace someone who's been there for a long time. They have a proven track record of generating sales. Amazon isn't going to put a random newbie's video in the place of someone who is already an established moneymaker. So this is hard to find. It's certainly not impossible. The easiest thing is, again, if you're scrolling in the top carousel, and if you want to see at least one influencer, because if you don't, then the brand may not even be allowing videos up there. But if you see at least one influencer, one regular person doing a review, that's a good sign. And if you just see one, you're like, well, clearly I can at least be number 2, right? So that's kind of one way you can see. Ditto if you go down below to the reviews. Again, if you see like 1 or 2 people who've done reviews and it has a little earns commission by their name, that's a good sign. That means it's not saturated. But the problem you run into is if there's like 4 or 5, you don't know if those 4 or 5 are just the top ones out of 100, or that the 4 or 5, is just the total amount. So that really becomes almost impossible to tell unless you have some type of tool that is scraping data on the back end that will tell you straight out what the number is. So the point is that those 2 things, number of sales and whether or not your video will be seen, those are the 2 gatekeepers that you need to deal with before you pick your next product for review. Because you can't just willy-nilly review stuff around the house, right? They keep saying it's so easy, just review stuff around the house. Well, the problem is, A, that's not sustainable. You will eventually run out of stuff. But more importantly, even if it was sustainable, right? If you're buying hundreds of things per month, the problem is those items you're reviewing may not meet number 1 and 2. It may not be selling well anymore. It may not have the sales volume that's going to be enough for you to make money, or better yet, there may be a million videos on it already and your video will never be seen. So if the thing that you're reviewing for free around the house that you're just grabbing is not really meeting those 2 things, it's basically the same as not having a video, because you're still not going to generate sales. So, and again, this has happened to me too, just so you know. I reviewed a Wi-Fi router. This is one of the things that I reviewed before I changed my strategy, and again after I changed my strategy, and it didn't really matter. I still am sitting on like 3 views for that, because I eventually found out there were 178 influencer videos, right? And some of these are like tech people. They probably have followings outside of social media, very well produced videos, very just well made videos in general. So I'm not going to be the person that displaces those. And that's just something, the reality of it. Now we're getting to a point where I talk about the software. So instead of manually doing research on the millions and millions of products out there, I decided to pay for something that just does a lot of the heavy lifting for me, right? I researched as best as I could, because it is kind of limited in terms of what people say about the software that's out there. I think a lot of people want to gatekeep it, to be honest, because it is what's helping them be successful. I don't mind sharing it because, again, there's millions, probably billions of products out there. You're not going to be able to buy every single thing. And I think there's enough money for everyone out there to win, right? So, and after all the research that I did, I stumbled upon something called Viral Vue, and that's one I ended up with. There's a lot of features they have. I'm still discovering it, using it. I have used it for the last month. But the two most important things: A, it shows me the sales data, not just the terms of the last 30-day number of sales, but daily sales, and of course the monthly revenue. Those are really good things for me to kind of have an idea of. Most importantly, number two, it tells me how many influencer videos there are. Even if you can't see all of them on the top carousel, even if you can't see on the bottom carousel, it tells me the total number that exists. And I can kind of view each one too, just to kind of see the quality and be like, can I make a better one than this? So those are what I use it for. There's a host of whole other things that they can do for you, but that's really all I needed, right? And so having those two pieces of key information in mind, I can now make an educated guess on how much potential an item has to make me money. And again, it's still guessing at the end of the day. Not everything that I pick is going to be a banger and going to be like printing money, right? But it will help me make a better decision. So I can then kind of decide, do I want to invest money in buying this product for the sake of reviewing it? And I will tell you, this is what you've been waiting for. When I signed up in the last few days of November, either 28th or 29th, and in the 30 days that followed, my revenue went from that $12.12 per month to $198. So the first full month of December, I jumped to $198. And just a breakdown of that, $198 is enough to cover the monthly fee for Viral Vue, plus the amount of money that I spent to buy some products. So I think that for me, that's the floor. It's only going to go up from there, right? And further breaking down those numbers. So 46% or $93 was from on-site compared to a measly 12% or $6 from off-site. So going back to that comparison of how important it is to get on-site, to get on influencer, it's like a fourfold difference, maybe five, depending on how long I do this. So, and if those who can do math, you're like, well, where's the rest of it? Yeah, the other 46% or $93 from something called Creator Connections. That is a subject for another video because I've already rambled long enough. But y'all, I now believe in my own hype. All right, I believe in myself and have enough confidence to go into the new year, because I've also seen enough people in the Viral Vue community who have shared their stats, their journeys, their wins, and I'm like, you know what? I can actually do that with the help of this program and the data that it gives me. I believe I will be making $1,000 pretty soon per month, right? And hopefully maybe like in a year from now, once I have hundreds and hundreds of videos, if not 1,000 videos, I honestly believe I can make $5,000 plus a month from Amazon. Some months, right? Maybe not every single month, but some months. So that's a goal that I have for the future. If you found this video to be useful at all and helpful for you to either decide about Amazon or maybe approach it differently if you've already done it for a little while, please like it, subscribe, and ask questions. Like, I'm still learning. I don't think there's enough people who are making videos and content who are starting on something, right? So I'm much closer to you on the journey than someone who's already like very accomplished, who's been doing this for years. And for some reason, if you do want to try Viral Vue for yourself, they do have a month-to-month thing. I do have an affiliate link that I get something from if you sign up through my link, so please consider that. If you just want to support me for free, of course, go to the Amazon storefront. That is also linked. So if you go to the storefront and buy whatever you want, you don't have to buy any of the stuff that I reviewed. Buy whatever you want as long as you start from the storefront and eventually buy something within 24 hours. I get credit for it. It's called a Halo sale. It's another great thing that hopefully one day I can talk about. But yeah, so any of those things you can do to help me, I greatly appreciate it. Hopefully see you in about a month when I give you my January update for my second full month of using this new approach, or maybe even sooner if I think of another topic to talk about.